Satnam. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. So come see me this morning. Come see Akal Jeet at 9 o'clock for the meditation, and I'll be teaching at 9:30. I also have my good friend Reverend Uki coming. She comes in studio, so it's an in-studio event, and she's an angelic intuitive. So I do a sound healing, guided meditation, and then she gives a personal message to everybody. So here we are on day 31, and the depths of this Purdy is just really expanding into my own samaskars with being able to be loved in order for, at least I'm feeling, to uplift and redeem my family and relations. I have to feel worthy of that. And so for me, it's been insecurity coming up. Insecurity as a leader at GDF, insecurity around being a mother, insecurity. And chanting this mantra, it's like awareness is the only way to change it. So we have to feel to heal. And sometimes I think that's why people back away from these harder spiritual practices, because they are more potent and they have a journey to take you on. So the translation for the 15th Purdy is, when we agree to be ourselves, our faithfulness finds the door of liberation. When we agree to be who we are, our faith uplifts and redeems our family and relations. They're safe now. When we agree, our faith saves us and carries us across with the devotees of the Guru. When we agree to be who we are, our faith ends all wandering and begging. Such is the name of the Immaculate True One. Only the one with faith comes to know such a state of mind. Faith is the key to the ending of begging. And so in some way, insecurity is me begging. If I'm insecure, then I don't know. I'm not receiving the blessing of God, right? I'm not getting, oh my gosh, you are a child of God and you are perfect. Not that I don't make mistakes, but I can make those mistakes. I can ask for redemption. I can do it different, and I can transcend my karma. And that's what doing Kundalini and prayer and meditation is all about. It's about the self-discovery of what is keeping us apart from our greatness. And when we're apart from our greatness, we wander around from practice to practice, from lover to lover, from thing to thing, from substance to substance. We wander and we beg because we don't know who we truly are. When we know who we truly are, then we know God. That is the main concept in all of the monolithic religious paths and spiritual paths. It is plainly said over and over in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Japji. There's only one way to know God, and that's to go inside. It's to know yourself. And so you can see how that could be precarious, because if you've had a really hard childhood and lots of bad things happen, then you might think you're bad. So how am I going to find the greatest of the great inside this very tainted, damaged vessel? But just by going in, the light turns on. Just by taking the time to chant, the vibration inside of us changes. And then we can readily start to seek the authentic part of ourself and higher self and know that to be who we are. And that's how I believe it heals. The thing is, we have to have in these manis, it's all about trusting and obey, okay? In the Purdys that are about money, right? So there has to be, in order to be faithful, we have to have this amazing spiritual tool called acceptance. So I want to read to you the acceptance formula in these Purdys, 12 through 15th, which we've been in, from Guru Ratana. The acceptance formula. Let acceptance be your spiritual practice. Do not focus on hopes and desires. Because if we hope and we desire, we're begging, right? Know whatever you get, there is a reason. Whatever happens has meaning, yet it all remains a mystery to be cherished. Let yourself be filled with wonder and gratitude. Give up complaining, and you will find yourself at peace. Do not try to make something happen. Trying and worry create a wall between you and the one. What did not happen through all your efforts can happen when you clear the space of trying. So trying is a different thing than doing and being. Trying is actually not doing or being. It's really begging. I'm going to try. Like, I'm going to try to be sober. Well, that's so fucking weak sauce. That's like, you basically are saying, I know I'm not really going to do it. And, within a few days, I probably will fuck it up. No try. And we got to think of that great spiritual warrior, Yoda. And Luke is trying to master the Force. And he gets frustrated because he's trying, right? And he says to Yoda, I'm trying, I'm doing the best. And Yoda taps him on the third eye. No try, just do. So when you think about succeeding, the most important things you want to succeed in is love. And it has to start with self-love. And anything I'm doing to damage me is what I must not do. I'm not going to try not to hurt me. I have to not do it, period. I think sometimes in this very soft, it's weird. We have so much violence and it's a crazy world, but at the same time, we are so soft. We're so accommodating to our character defects. And that is making them worse. And it's making our self-will run riot. Anyways, so acceptance is the key. Trying and worry create a wall between you and the one. What didn't happen through all of our efforts can happen once we clear the space of trying. Trust there is a power greater than your trying, and surrender to this power. When you read that Mani, and it talks about that the faithful are saved and carried across the ocean with the devotees of the Guru. So the devotees of the Guru are many things, but the devotees are actually the lights of perfection, humility, forgiveness, discipline. These are the devotees inside of you that are ignited when you stop begging and you let yourself have total faith in something bigger than you. Then you're saved. Then you're carried across. And because your faith is so big, you have now just saved your family. And we might think, what? But your family is on the other side of the veil, dead, right? Like when I think of my sobriety, I think of my brother who died from alcoholism. Every day I don't drink. I do it for him, not just me, right? And my mom, basically smoked herself to death. So I come from a lineage and both of them are super A-type personalities like me, very successful. My brother was a millionaire. My mom came from nothing and ended up a vice president of a bank. So I come from this really driven type of DNA, and at the same time, they broke themselves down in order to achieve the worldly goals. Maybe there could have been a better balance, and they wouldn't have had to kill themselves in the process of doing it. And as someone who has been and, has tried to, when I think of myself doing certain things, I think I'm trying to kill myself. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like holding a gun to my head, but it is the same because I know the harm it will do, and yet I do it, right? And what is that attraction? Well, there is this whole thing in the 7 gates of our ego. One of them is the craving of death. And that death is really about not dying the body, dying the soul. Like we want to get out of the responsibility of being alive. But that's why we have this amazing practice, so that we don't do that. Trust that there is a power greater than our trying and surrender to that power. So don't try to be nice, do it. Don't try to be sober. Do it. Don't try to be loving. Do it. Be it. Right? That's our mission. Acceptance must be based on our personal divine connection to be authentic. Only when we are real can we sense who the divine is, right? So that's why it's so important, to confess to another human being the exact nature of yourself. And you think, oh my God, yeah. No, because that is when we can really hear ourselves, right? And know, and obviously it has to be with someone we completely trust, but then we hear, and we have an experience of someone else hearing it, and we become real, like the Velveteen Rabbit. We have to feel the pain of our self-sabotage, but once we do, and we confess it, and we make a promise to the divine in our heart, I'm going to be real. And so here's the thing. I'm not really an alcoholic. I'm not really a fearful person. I'm not really selfish, and neither are you. But when I'm out of alignment with my authentic, my real self, then the bad behavior starts. Then the gossip starts. Then the doubt comes in. Then trying is on full alert because I have to try, because I have no real connection to a power great enough that doesn't need to try, it just does, right? Oh, I love this shit. It's just so fucking good. Anyway, pretending that everything is okay, but feeling helpless and dissatisfied inwardly is not acceptance. So that's a real thing, right? So we're doing the spiritual path, and what if you do get really sick? Or what if somebody does leave you? Or what if a business, part of your business goes down the frickin' tubes? Now what? Right? Now what? Well, I'll tell you now what. That's when the good stuff starts, because that's when you sense that you aren't really in acceptance. What you're really in is resigning, like this is the way it is. You're acting. You're not authentic. You're acting. Oh yeah, I'm totally accepting this fucked up deal, whatever. Instead, it's mysterious. Like, okay, well, how would you do it instead? For me, how it looks is to be the best way for me to accept something my ego doesn't like is to be curious and to be open to the mystery. So I reassure my ego with my higher self and soul and God that there's more happening here. It's not just you didn't get your way. There's so much more. Be still and know, Marcia. Open your heart to love, because even in what you don't want to receive, there is so much. I like to chant I like to give people the Purdy that is their birth date. So I'm a 13th. So my Purdy personal that I do every single day is the 13th Purdy, along with, the 15th and things we're doing. Anyway, it is all about when I'm authentic, I am intuitive, and I know my way through anything, right? So there is a gem to be had when we are disappointed, because that's when we get to use our spiritual discipline to really be in acceptance and not just this fake resignation and denial. All right. Rationalizing why things did not work out the way we planned is not real surrender. Oh, it's all okay. God has a different plan for me. And maybe that is true. You know what I mean? But like, if you had you're just saying the words, you're just mouthing that because you just really can't accept. When I think of this, it's like, I think of some of the, things that went on for Guru Ram Das and Guru Nanak and, countless other saints like Job. He has his family killed. He loses all his farm. He just keep one loss after another. And it's like, but he didn't rationalize, oh, God really has a plan. It's going to be okay. It was like, this hurts. This is not how I thought it was going to go, but I trust you, God. That's the thing. Okay? So it's like, this bill is super big. I didn't think this was going to happen, but I trust you, God. I know that this is happening in my life, and that because it's happening, you will carry me through it. And whatever shall be, shall be. All right. Acceptance makes it possible to experience life the way it is and partake in the present moment. Acceptance opens the door to become one with the one. So if there's no other reason to cultivate acceptance than that, I think that's a good enough reason. Acceptance is the only way to cultivate a relationship and become one with the one. Our best strategy is aligning our will with the divine will is the best strategy because it coincides with reality. We set aside our mental ideas, programs, and get out of the way. It's easier to flow to the ocean without interference. Aligned with our higher self and soul, our ego doesn't create rocks in the river along the way. So, we've got a whole day ahead of ourselves. So many people will cross our paths. We'll go different places. We'll have different duties. We'll clean and we'll eat and we will, if we're lucky, be in a state of acceptance. And the greatest gift our acceptance will give us is that we will be in the moment. And in the moment is the only place that love is. And in the moment is the only place that God is. And in the moment is the only place you are. But if we're not here, if I'm always worried, so like if I worry about the bill, blah, 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 then I'm in the future. I'm not here. If I worry about what you think about me, blah, 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 I'm in the past. I'm not here. So where we are right here is everything. Right here is your healing. Right here is the miracle. That's why we love to do Kundalini yoga, because when we're making our body move and breathe, we are right there. And sometimes it takes a while. You ever notice in a Kundalini class, first off in the breath of fire, you're sort of going in and out of the moment. But eventually, the prana and the mantra, the sound current and the breath and the light bring you solidly into the moment. And that's why we fucking love it. Because being here, whether it is what the ego wanted or not, being here is where all the beauty is. And we will do anything to be here. We don't realize that we miss ourselves when we aren't present. That's why we get lonely and lost and we become beggars. Most of the begging is because we're not actually authentic or in our own lives. Of course we're going to beg. It's like, what's going on now, right? Anyway, I love you so much. I hope to see you this morning. And Sat Nam.